involved is because this understanding of rights is not there. Many of our children, when they get married, what percentage do you think actually go for a proper marriage course to go and understand that what I am about to embark on, completing half your iman. Nikah is not just a joke, it's over in 5 minutes. Yeah? But it's completing half of your, how is it completing half of my iman if I don't know what I'm doing? You have to go through the necessary course and understand what you are doing. Here we just know, my son has found a girl, astaghfirullah. I hope he doesn't find a guy. That'll be really scary. Shakir, his body's got 2 sons. Inshallah. But the girl comes home and says, Dad, I found a nice, handsome guy. One person came to his dad, he says, Dad, I found a beautiful girl, I want to get married to her. Dad says, what do you know about marriage? Come, let's go see her. He sees her and he says, to bahut khoobsurat hai, beautiful, I'll take her, I'll get married. What do you know about marriage? I'll marry her. So what? So yeah, I'll marry her. Then now both father and son started arguing. They went to one of the family friends who was a very intelligent person. What did he say? He said, let me see the girl and then I'll tell you. He saw the girl, he says, oh, forget you two, I'm going to marry. I'm more intelligent than both of you. And like this it carried on till they went for 5, 6 people. 5, 6 people. They all wanted to marry her. The attraction, the beauty of them. But you know what their beauty was? You know what that beautiful woman represented? The dunya. We all want the dunya. We lose someone that is close to us. We mourn for a while and then everything goes back to the norm because now our attachment to dunya is so great that those that deserve our honor and our respect and that we fulfill their rights, they are left out. You know, when you lose a father, now I understand what it's like. So those of you who've lost a father, I understand what it feels like. And you know, people come to make ta'ziyat and they will say different things. Some people will say, stop crying. One person actually got caught. Yeah, they came, they're hugging me and they were saying, you know, giving a whole lot of du'as and they said, no, don't cry. They looked at me and they said, I'm crying. I wasn't crying at that point. Then you get some people, make sabr by, what else am I going to do? Revive my father? Someone said to me, he says, you know, in your life, when you have your parents and they ask you to do something for them, right? You're sitting in the lounge, chilling with the family, and your father says, go make me a cup of tea. You will either A, go make that tea because you love your father to bits, or your mother for that matter. Or B, you will go and do it just because if you don't go and do it, you're probably going to get some grief from your parents. Or someone's going to say something to you. So you're doing it what? Out of majboori. Yeah? The third one is the worst one where you say, no, I'm not going to do it. You want it, there's your wife, ask her to make it. There's your husband, ask him to make it. And sadly, this is a case. We've seen much worse cases, unfortunately, of disrespect towards one's parents. To the extent I've heard of a kid, yeah, father was involved in gambling, the son got involved in drugs, to the extent that when the son wanted money for drugs, he put a gun in his father's mouth and threatened to blow his head off, yeah, because he didn't give him money for drugs. So what we do has an athar and an effect on our children. Now if you have children and you have parents and you show disrespect in any way, shape or form towards your parents, your children will guaranteed not only do that, they will probably do worse to you. You know that all the punishments, you know, if you miss salah for example, you can afford to go for hajj, you don't go for hajj, you can, you can fast but you don't fast. All the fara'id that are there, you don't do them, Allah Ta'ala doesn't punish you immediately, you know that. He gives you time. He gives you muhlat. He gives you respite. Like the fisherman letting you go, give you a chance, maybe they'll make tawbah to me. But no sooner do you disrespect or disobey your parents, Allah's punishment will come up. Don't try and challenge it. Please, for Allah's sake, don't try and challenge it. Because Allah Ta'ala may be Rahim, but at the same time, He can also give out adhabun alim. He can give out the most severe of punishments. So if you have your parents, you need to look after them. Because you don't want to live with regret. I was saying about what someone said. So your parents are alive, you can do for them. Okay? But the real test is once they have passed away. Once your parents have passed away, can you do for them? Yes, you can. Will you do for them is the big question. Because now they are waiting. When a person passes away, there's only a few doors left open. Some people came to me and say, your key to Jannah is gone now. So I thought, okay, that's very nice of you. I know he's gone. But don't have to rub it in my face. I don't know what the intentions were, but let's hope for something good. So, when a person passes away, you leave behind, as the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam says, أَوَلَدٌ صَالِحٌ يَدْعُو لَهُ. One of the three things is a pious child that makes dua for them. If you don't train your child to be a pious child, then not expect that when you go into the qabr, your child is going to come to the grave and read for you. While at the Qabristan last week, there was a brother standing there, crying uncontrollably. As we were walking past, he said, please make dua for my mother, she's gone. But he was there making dua. Mother must have taught him something. She was valuable to him. And many a times we find that children regret after the parent is gone. Oh, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have been rude. I shouldn't have sworn. Wallahi al-Azim, insan is such that we don't appreciate something until such time that it is gone. Some of you here may have your parents living in a foreign country. You have come here to earn a living. What is more important to you? You need to decide. I'm not here to judge anyone, and I know one's personal circumstances. By you merely earning lots of money and sending to them to build a big empire there so you can retire, you're doing it all wrong, bhai. You're doing it all wrong. The idea is to serve your parents. And together with that, if they tell you anything, even if you are 50, 60, 70 years old, your parents are around. I came across a story the other day. A 95-year-old man is looking after his 65-year-old son who has cancer. Your parents will love you till their dying breath. Will you love them? That is the question. And if you don't train your children well, I'm sorry to inform you that Muslims have now become of those who like to throw their parents into an old age home. You know why? Because now we don't have to clean up after them. Hey, you know how much a bed costs in an old age home? There's one in Derby, £2,000 a week. Imagine paying $2,000 a week to throw your parents away. These parents cry. We see our parents maybe once or twice a year. You're out there building your empire, your family, and you've got all the luxuries, but your parents are suffering loneliness. Allahu Akbar. Then if our lives are not going to be in a state of mess, then what else is it going to be? If our life is going to be deprived of barakah, what else is it going to? And if our parents have passed away, you can't say, well, I can't serve my parents now. Oh, Allahu Akbar. Now you can serve them 24/7. You know why? Because you can make dua for them. You can read for them. How often is it that we are silent when we can make dua? While you're traveling in your car, while you're on your lunch break at work, while you may be doing whatever it is. You may have a hobby of doing something, and while you're doing that, you can read and you can make dua for them. And you can ask Allah Ta'ala for forgiveness for them. You must give out charity for them. If they have passed away. And while they are alive, please, I warn you, if you will not look after your parents, your children guaranteed will not look after you. It's not my words. You read up in the Quran and the Hadith. blind. And make dua for them. Rabbi, a sad thing I don't understand. Why don't we say Ameen? You get some people come say, MashaAllah, Maulana, you make dua loudly. So the reason I make dua loudly, firstly, is ta'aleeman, so that we can learn for educational purposes. So then you know what dua to make whenever you got to make dua on your own. But the second thing is Ameen. We should say Ameen. May it be. Ya Allah, make it such that my parents can benefit. Make it such that you accept even my dua, whatever I make. So look after your parents while you have them. Savor them. Yeah. Make the most of the time that you have with them. And stop making excuses that you don't have time for them. Yeah. Sorry, I can conclude. Three people got stuck in a cave. It's mentioned in Riyadh Salihin. Yeah. They got stuck in a cave, a boulder came and stopped there, and one of them was inspired to tell the others, look here, you know what, let's turn to Allah Ta'ala and make dua to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala through the means of one good deed that we have done in our life, sincerely. So one of them said, Ya Allah, my occupation was grazing cattle and also collecting wood. One night I went a bit further away. By the time I got back, he says, I come home, I used to bring the milk, and first I used to give my parents, then I would give my wife, then I would give my children. In that order, all the time. Think about it. Who do you buy presents more for? Wifey, beloved? Because your dad and mom don't give you anything. Besides the heartfelt dua. He says, I used to come home and I used to give it to them first. That night I got home late. I stood there with that glass of milk. My child is crying by my feet because the child is hungry. He says, I stood there the whole night. I didn't trouble my parents. I didn't say, hey, mom, dad, oi, wake up. I've got your milk for you. As we hear so often, very sadly. He says, they woke up in the morning. I gave it to them. And I did this solely for your pleasure, Ya Allah. If you accept it, then help us out in this situation, and Allah Ta'ala help them out. You have your parents, look after them, make shukr to Allah Ta'ala, that Allah Ta'ala has given you parents. Rabbi awzi'ni an ashkura ni'mataka allati an'amta alayya wa ala walidayya wa an a'mala salihan tardahu wa adkhilni bi rahmatika fi ibadika as-salihin. بارك الله لنا ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعنا وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم أستغفر الله لي ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه تعالى جواد كريم ملك بر رؤوف رحيم. Brothers, if I can ask everyone to please stand up, fill up the rooms here, please. If everyone can please stand up, all the brothers, please, except those on the chairs. Brothers, please move forward. Don't sit out in the second, third of the space here. The space here in the rooms also. Is there space front by?
أشهد أن محمد رسول